Hey everyone, so today's video is a really exciting one. This is my update for my shopping blog. This is the second episode that I've done in this series, so I do have previous videos and a playlist for the series, so I will have that linked down below if you want to go check that out. But basically, I picked out these products that I potentially want to declutter, and I have been trying them out over the past month or so, and I have finally made up my mind about whether or not I want to declutter these. So today we're just going to be going through them and I'm going to be telling you whether or not I will declutter them. So the first product I have here is from Stila. This is one of their shimmer and glow shadows in the shade Carefree. I do have a few of their glitter and glow shadows and I just feel like I prefer those. This is just more of a metallic sheen type of finish. It doesn't have any glitter or anything like that in here. And I feel like I already don't reach for my liquid shadows, so I feel like I'm just never going to reach for this because, again, it's not that glittery finish. It's just more metallic sheen. So I will be decluttering this one. The next product is a bronzer that I repressed from a face palette. So this is the Kat Von D Shade and Light face palette. This is the two lightest bronzers mixed together in here, and I just had this empty compact that I repressed it into. So this I just wanted to try out, see if I really liked it, especially after I repressed it, to see if the formula was the same. And I do actually really enjoy this. It looks really weird in the pan for some reason, but when you apply it to the cheeks, it does look normal. So I do want to use this or keep this in my collection and use it. Obviously, there's a ton of product in here because it is two bronzers pressed together. So it's going to take me forever to go through this, but I do really enjoy this product and also the shade that this made with those two bronzers mixed together. I also chose this concealer to put in here. This is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye, except it's not because I got this off of Wish, which is an app where you can get just products for really, really cheap. So this is basically a knockoff of the IT Cosmetics concealer, and this is pretty bad. I feel like the coverage is so light on this, it barely does anything. And it's also just too light for me. So I will be decluttering this. It was just like a few dollars and I don't like this. This is probably my least favorite concealer in my collection. So I know I would just not end up reaching for it. And I would prefer to reach for my other concealers over this. So I will be decluttering this one. Now I did throw quite a few highlighters in here. So the first two that I thought were kind of going to be similar is one of the Colourpop Super Shock Cheeks in the shade Dreamcatcher. And then I have the Fenty Beauty Hustle a Baby highlight. So these have that sort of similar pinky peach shift, except the Colourpop one is a lot more lighter and a lot less intense than the Fenty one. So I actually prefer the Fenty one. The Colourpop does look really nice and natural on the skin. I just feel like the Fenty one smooths out my skin a little bit more and it's more of that intense highlight that I want. And the color is also a little bit more intense on the Fenty one. The Colourpop one is a little bit lighter, so I feel like this is similar to a lot of my other highlighters in my collection. And also these Super Shock Cheeks, I just don't reach for enough, so I just know I'm not going to reach for this. So I will be decluttering the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek in the shade Dreamcatcher, but I am going to be keeping my Fenty highlight in the shade Hustle a Baby. And then the two other highlighters that I had in here are these minis from Becca. I did have 2 or 3 more of these at one point. One of them was in a project pan that I actually recently decluttered, but I did hit pan on that one. And then these two I wanted to try out just to see if I actually wanted to keep them. So the first one is in the shade Rose Quartz. And this formula is just not my favorite. I don't really understand the hype of these. It is a pretty highlight, but especially for the price of these, I just feel like it's almost not worth it. You can find just as good highlights at the drugstore. So this is sort of a rosy shade. And although this is more pinky, I feel like it's a little bit more unique. But again, I have shades like this in my collection already, so, and this is just not my favorite formula, so I know I'm not going to reach for it. So I will be decluttering this one in the shade Rose Quartz. But the other Becca highlight that I have, this one is in the shade Prismatic Amethyst. So it's almost like that duochrome kind of shifty highlight, and I don't have anything like this in my collection. So this one is definitely a lot more unique. So I will be keeping this one for now. This is the only one out of all my Becca highlights that I ended up keeping. So this is the only one that's going to stay just because it is so unique. And then I also put this Milano blush in here in the shade Luminoso. So this is like a classic blush. I just have a mini version. At one point I did have the full size and the mini. I think I got this as like a free gift with purchase, but I gave the full size to my mom because I knew I wasn't going to go through a full size, let alone a mini blush. And I was considering decluttering this just because I feel like I never reach for it, maybe because it's so small and I just forget about it. But every time I use this again, I end up really, really loving the way it looks. So I will be keeping this in my collection. Again, it is just a mini and I do prefer to have mini products. So I am going to be keeping this. I do really, really love the way it looks on my cheeks. And the last two products I have are two lipsticks from Colourpop. The first one here is in the shade Dream Easy, which is like a brighter corally pink. I'm actually going to swatch it. And this is very bright, but obviously when I put it on my lips, I can sheer it out a little bit. The other one is in the shade Hey Mr. DJ, which is a Velvet Blur formula. So I do actually really like their Velvet Blur formula. So Hey Mr. DJ is on the right, and then Dream Easy is on the left. Or actually that is reversed for you guys. So out of these two, I will be getting rid of Dream Easy, which is just too bright and corally for me. I feel like I will just never wear it. But I will be keeping the shade Hey Mr. DJ, which is the lighter one that's a little bit more peachy. I feel like that's just more wearable and I will actually end up reaching for this. So that's it for the update for this chopping block. I'm really happy with the products that I ended up keeping and what I ended up decluttering. I feel like it was pretty even both ways, which last time I think I decluttered almost everything I chose out. So this was really fun and I really like filming this series for you guys. Let me know if you enjoy these types of videos, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And I do post new videos about 2 to 3 times a week. So if you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified every time I post. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.